feel like you're part of the Olympic action. Play McDonald's. When the U.S. wins, you win Olympic game.
What size, Aunt Mom? Basketball. The U.S. wins. Then we win.
When the U.S. wins a medal in the event on your game card, you win a Big Mac. Or regular fries. Or regular Coca-Cola. Or win up to $10,000 instantly. So go to McDonald's and collect your game cards. Because when the U.S. wins, you win.
Way to go, Mom.
Welcome in Phantom to Jappy.
The children are playing, crafting something in the kitchen.
They're still playing with clay.
Yes, with clay.
Clay's such a nice guy.
Holy fucking shit.
It's all right. I'll become harder. I mean, it's all right. I'm fucking rock hard right now. I'll become stronger as we continue the game. Let's try it.
Guess who has two thumbs and remembered
Whoa.
electric bill today?
She did. Did she not witness what just? Hold on. Her husband was sitting there grunting and like nearly screaming, about to stab himself, and she's just like, "Huh? Look at this bug! What the fuck, lady?" Any beef broth is probably gross, but ugh, tasty, tasty noms. Like, you actually like that, or is that a food crime? I'm not sure how to take this. I don't want to insult you or anything, but that sounds fucking disgusting. Cut it out. What the fuck? Got a whole daycare thing? Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck, man? Well, enjoying yourself? No. No? Ain't this alive? No. Blub blub. Little old magic harp, Noah. Yep. Blub blub. Blub blub blub. Noah uses splash attack. It did nothing. But we love him for it. Go, 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 go. Keep cheering. Keep cheering. We're halfway. Keep cheering. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Come on. That doesn't look like him. We shouldn't shoot. We don't know that that's him. I thought I was right-clicking. I just killed a homeless man.
What's wrong? Snake! Snake!
Ah, damn it. Why did we get our gun out?
I knew what I was doing wasn't right, but I didn't have time to answer questions back at the station.
Oh my god.
Specials vanished every day in this city, and no one ever missed them.
I don't think that's what we were supposed to do, my dude.
He was still there. I didn't know when the trash got picked up in this neighborhood, but I hoped it was soon.
We just murdered that dude and then just hit his body. What the fuck, dude? Give me a bad boy. I need to lose some honor for that one. I deserve it. Come on, little guys. I am the captain of this ship. I am Milo Dane. All right, let's get started, shall we? Hello and happy Wednesday. You got Togepi and Stella here already, I see. So welcome in, guys. Glad to see you. We're gonna be continuing on with a cosmic turnabout. Yeah, let's see here. Let's start off with some evidence, shall we? We'll jump right into the last time, the recap. But yeah, if you guys want to tell me how your day is, I'd love to know. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. And hopefully you're ready for some courtroom action. All right, let's see here. So let me do a brief overview of the actual case here. So what we got going on here is it all started with a space launch. We had two astronauts that were going to go in a rocket to space. Space. And but during the launch, there was like a bomb threat essentially that happened. So the astronauts get out of the rocket and they're trying to escape from the launch area because that's like where the bombs are, I guess. I don't know exactly the details of how these things went down, but essentially. broad strokes here. And during this mess, some of the bombs did go off, and there's like areas around the rocket that got damaged, but one of them got disarmed, thankfully, because they had a bomb disposal person nearby, like a professional. Her name was Can Disarm, by the way, which I love. That's my favorite pun so far. So where we get involved is that one of the two astronauts was apparently in this big mess murdered with a knife, and our client was obviously the one that was accused, and he is the other astronaut, because should have been the only two that were in the area that they were in. So the only person who should have had an opportunity to kill the victim was our client. The thing is that they were like really close, and they don't really have a whole lot of motive for the death. But they're trying to say that it was our client not wanting to actually go to space because he's developed a phobia, and that's why he killed the other guy, I guess, to delay the launch, to not have to go to space. I don't know. It's kind of weird, a little shaky in my opinion, but that's kind of what they're going with. Anyways, so what we found out last week though was that there are some bits of evidence that could suggest that there was a third person. There was one of the people who worked there who was escaping at the time, saw through the window. It was dark in the room, but they did see someone that had a lighter that was lit, and it had a little Earth emblem on the lighter. And so I think that's going to be important. And when we told that to our client, he said that he too did remember that, because apparently he got knocked out, which I forgot to mention. And he was like, there was something wrong with him, and the victim was carrying him. We've established that. And he carried him back to the lounge where the murder apparently happened. But our client said he was awake for one moment where he saw a dark figure once we told him about the lighter. So we got some hints there of a third party that could be the real killer. That probably obviously is the real killer, because it can't be our client. I mean, come on. It's Ace Attorney game, dude. Let's see. Any other broad strokes we need there? I think that covers most of it. We'll go over the evidence next. I'm just trying to think of any other major details we need to talk about. Oh yeah, there was this one thing I want to mention with Fulbright. Fulbright has this weird thing going on where he's confused about what's the most just thing to do, and he's been thinking about why are they letting Black Quill prosecute, because he's a prisoner, you know, he's a criminal, you know, and why is he being allowed? And I think he's starting to have issues with the whole dark side of the law, or whatever, like what do they call it, the dark ages of the law thing. So that's kind of an interesting little subplot that's going on, so we'll keep that in mind. I think that's all the big stuff. I think we're ready for going over the evidence. So yeah, I think that covers most of it. So let's see here, evidence-wise. Got Taryn's autopsy report. Yeah, let's go over the people who we're talking about. So we have the victim, who is Clay Taryn, and some things to know about Clay is that he's Apollo's childhood friend, Apollo Justice. And so they both used to go to the science center together all the time, and they actually became really good friends with our client, who is Solomon Starbuck, and he became like a mentor to Clay, and Clay became more into the space thing and became an astronaut. And so Solomon Starbuck, our client right here, he was supposed to be with Clay going up on their space mission. So those are the people involved. Anybody else to mention? We got Yuri Cosmos. He is the owner of the Space Center. He's a very proud man. That's what I'll say about him. There's Candace Arm. She's great. Oh yeah, and we have Aura Blackwell, who is the sister to Blackwell, obviously. I can't remember. Simon Blackwell. And so that's pretty interesting. She's also the person who witnessed the person in the window with the lighter. She's the person who saw that, but she hates the law and stuff, and so I think she probably doesn't have a great relationship with her brother. And then we met these two robots that were pretty cool. They might come up again, I guess, but there's not too much to say about them other than they're just kind of robots that work at the Space Center. So there we go. Oh no, we gotta go to the evidence now, dummy. Isn't accepted. Japanifornia's court is of the kangaroo variety. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely right now in the dark ages. I mean, it always is, to be honest, but especially now. Let's see. Shit, I thought that all of a sudden reminded me of something somehow that I was going to mention. Wasn't there something else that I wanted to mention? It slipped my mind. It'll probably come back to me. Anyway, we'll look at the evidence. Taryn's autopsy report. Let's see. Cause of death, stabbing. Let's go ahead and just go in here. Oh, that's just the picture. Okay. We just have to read it here. Cause of death, stabbing. The victim was discovered in the 3rd floor boarding lounge in the main building. Oh, yeah. That was gonna mention. I'm glad it was in the picture. This was another plot element where we have this capsule that they were apparently taking from the ship that they were about to launch from, and they were like carrying it from that and bringing it back to the lounge because it's a very important capsule. And we learned more about it last week, that it's a capsule that is holding space rocks from an asteroid from a probe mission that just arrived recently. And so I think that mission and the rocks inside this capsule are gonna be important to the motive or something, possibly, of what's going on. But yeah, it's a plot point, so we need to keep that in mind. Space Center diagram, a cross-section view of the main building of the Space Center, Launchpad 1. So here's Launchpad 1. We had like a bomb down here. I think that got, this is the one that got defused. The one that blew up, I think, was in the middle section because it screwed up the elevator. So they had to come from up here, get down the ladder, and then go through this corridor, which I think also was affected by this explosion, I think. And then they got to the lounge, and this is apparently where the deed was done. There was like another bomb, maybe in here. Maybe not. Maybe, I think somebody was just up in here. That's what it was. There's something that was going on in some of these floors. But anyways, this is where the murder happened. Utility knife. It has the victim's blood on it from a set of utility tools used by Space Center techs. So a lot of people would have access to a knife like that, I suppose, right? Launchpad 1 door lock. Starbucks prints were found on this door lock. Also see photo taken after the incident. 2 pages. Okay, fingerprint recognition system. Only the prints of Director Cosmos, Starbuck, and Terran are authorized. Equipped with backup power, print recognition attempts are recorded via security camera. Starbucks prints were found on the scanner screen after the incident. So I assume that it'll be the fact that his prints are the ones that are there are gonna matter at some point, obviously. Let's see, we got security camera video. Video showing the defendant and victim's escape from the corridor. The video ends immediately after this scene. So this is how we saw and pretty much proved that this is Terran carrying Solomon Starbuck, our client, the defendant. So this is the victim carrying the defendant. And we knew that because he has 50 like oxygen left, and then he ended up with 80 oxygen left because this one was actually empty. So it was like the math between the oxygen tanks, because this one has 0 depleted, the other one had 80. So the one that had 0 depleted obviously was the one in that picture that has 50 left, because yeah, this one wouldn't have 80 left. All right, so yeah, that's all that is. Oxygen tank, those pretty much go together. Space Center pamphlet. It includes a diagram of the boarding lounge and a cross-section view of the Space Center. 3 pages. We got, here's that corridor again. Here's the boarding lounge where the murder happened. This is a sky view. Here's the control room, which had another like security door to it. Then we found a bullet as well, like on the floor over here, as well as like a bullet hole right here, I think. Might be in the evidence later. Okay, here's the whole building, because the other side, it's mirrored, has the Space Museum. It's just like the exact same launch pad, but on the other side, and it's just a museum instead. The Space Museum, a full-size replica of the Hat 1 and important items related to space exploration and the Hat 1 expedition are on display. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Alright, here's the control room door lock. I was just talking about that. The door lock to the east. It can only be operated by the director. Backup power lets it function even when the power goes out. So that means when it says the director, that means Yuri Cosmos. He's the director of the Space Center. He's the only one that can access that. Oh, keep that in mind. Bullet. This is one we found. Discovered in the gutter that runs along the south wall of the boarding lounge. It was fired from a .1 caliber, a 10 caliber handgun. That's a very small bullet. Objection! What? I guess it's not that small, okay? Or a statement. Oh, let's go back to this. We got the bullet hole. A single bullet hole was found in the boarding lounge. The bullet itself is missing. Which, is it missing though? Because I'm pretty sure it's right here. Alright, no. I don't know why it says that. Hope capsule. So yeah, that's what the probe is called. Found in the victim's possession. It recently returned from a 7-year mission and contains asteroid samples. And they have Aura's statement, which is Blackwell's sister. The perp held a lighter with an Earth emblem on it in their left hand and a knife in their right. So there we go. That's our evidence. Let's keep all that in mind as we continue forward. And that ends the recap. Anyways, once again, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. And let's get this party started. Oh, I found, I guess before we get totally started, I found this thing I wanted to try. I don't know where I would try it, but there's a voice I was going to show you guys. There's a new voice on voice mod.
But it's called Wakari. It's an AI voice. So it really changes my voice quite a bit. It's just a little weird. A little wonky. But it could be interesting to try. Maybe for certain characters or something.
We could try that sometime. Okay. And let's do it. December 20th, 10:15 a.m. District Courtroom number 5. I feel like I'm overlapping the game a lot. Let me actually slide my cam over a little bit. Can I do it this way? Oh, I can reveal some of the Dommiverse if I do that. Is that a little bit better? Maybe a little bit. Okay. Day 2. Court is now in session. All rise. Doing pretty good. Glad to hear it. Hell yeah. Uh-oh. The judge is not there. I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck or something. Where is he at? Where am I? I'm lost. Your Honor? Could you please come out from under your bench? There are no more bombs, I promise. All right, because the last time we were in court, it was the bombing. That's true. Oh, yes, my apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. I mean, first the courtroom exploded. And then Mr. Toenaid self-destructed. I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Toenaid. Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Toenaid's actions. So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense. Do you have an understanding of what has happened in the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? So dramatic. Heard Aura might be here and saw what she did to Klonko. Gonna clonk fucking the judge, isn't she? I mean, she's gonna clonk everybody because she hates the law, right? I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time. Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Well, he's currently seen more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors. You could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. Let's see. In the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Terran, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. Okay, so I wasn't wrong. There was one over on this side. The two astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. And how could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved that the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point? Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Dono's argument was correct.
So that means the testimonies of the first two people on the scene are suspect.
There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene. But can we truly trust their statements?
Let's see. The two of them were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police?
Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. And just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. Yeah, and Candace died. That accursed fellow. He killed my witness. He killed Detective Arm.
He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw.
Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial. It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues that there was a third person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim.
Objection.
To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man, or a stupid one. There was no third person in the boarding lounge. Or have you gone dotty already, old man?
Objection.
We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Yeah, too bad Maya or Pearl weren't there. Absolutely. I would love for either of them to be here. And then, you know, by extension, Mia. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. They saw a third person. I see my sister has been running her mouth. Ah, that's right. I almost forgot that Aura is Prosecutor Blackwell's sister. No matter. She didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene. Which is Yuri. Yeah.
Director Cosmos, huh?
Very well. Bailiff, please bring in the witness to the stand. Why, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers. Of course you have! Of course you have! For I am Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was, of course, named after me, Yuri Cosmos. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me?
Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging.
7 years ago, I successfully launched the Hat 1, and... I think I was on a little segue. Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I am trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me. Could you please proceed directly to your important testimony? I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation of greatness. Then allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history.
That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell's just now sounded more to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos.
It's probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head. I think he was manipulating him. That's what I was pulling from that. He's a little Simon Says in it. Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. Very condensed. Abridged as well. Condensed and abridged. What I saw at the scene. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Taryn lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. That's it, huh? That was very condensed. I see. So in your testimony you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge. And just after the victim had been killed. Oh, the horror! The humanity! But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger. Risking my own life for theirs!
Well, what do you know? Sounds like the director really cares about his men.
Yeah, although it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away. Yeah, that's all he said he did. Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor.
Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. Going to have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else.
Cross-examination. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. Hold it! Hold it!
Hold it!
Where were you coming from? The 6th floor. We were making sure any stragglers made their way to the 4th floor. And it was then we heard about Starbuck and Taryn and hurried to the 3rd floor lounge. On my galactic scooter here, of course. Why do you keep calling it galactic? Does it have something to do with space? Of course! It's specifically designed to be used on galactic battleships. I see. I take it works in 0G too? Sadly, no. With the current state of technology as it is, I'm afraid it would just float around and be galactically useless.
Well, that's a galactic bummer.
I see. So you rushed to the boarding lounge on your space-age pogo stick. And when you got to the scene, what did you see? Your space-aged pogo stick. Nice one, Jed. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. Hold it!
Hold it!
Let's see. According to this diagram, you didn't have to go through the control room to get to the boarding lounge 1. It looks like you could have gone there from the southern corridor as well. Yes, but in her haste, Detective Arm rushed ahead of me towards the control room. All I could do was merely follow behind her. I see. So we peeked into the boarding lounge from the control room, and we saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge, and Taryn lying on the floor. Hold it!
Hold it!
So you couldn't see who that figure was clearly, or what they were doing? Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that it was a person, standing motionless. Oh, here, I got this.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
That's what was happening. The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there?
I'm so close! But without evidence, I can't prove that person's the third party.
I don't relish in this, and I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure there must have been Starbuck. Hold it!
Hold it!
Aura Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge. But she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly? No, not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Terran, but I couldn't see who the other person was. So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck, isn't that correct? I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who's capable of murder.
Objection!
When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct? Great Space Center Director. Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Terran were there by that time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark, and the figure vanished. You mean they disappeared? That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness.
Hold it!
Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off the scene? Just for a brief instant, about as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by. If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time. But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape that way.
Objection!
All things are possible, right, Dono? The real question is, do you have any proof? Well... If we're just talking possibilities, we could each profess whatever we'd like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and lunar researcher used to say that there is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon.
As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it.
But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists?
He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss. And he's right. I don't have any proof yet. Still. The southern door was a possible escape route. I'd better make a mental note of that.
Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Yes? Why did you look away from the boarding lounge? There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. It was when Detective Arms saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure? I imagine her instincts as a detective told her they were the killer.
I don't know about that.
And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun? I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly and then... she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure. 2 warning shots? Oh, well, where was the other one at? This information about Detective Arm's action sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots at the figure. Hold it!
Hold it!
And neither of these 2 shots hit the culprit? That is correct. The detective appears to have missed on purpose.
But did she really? There's something about this that bothers me. So Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, did she? That's the first time that info has come out. Wonder if I can find any inconsistencies.
Could it be that? So we said the bullet was lost in that one hole. So it's like one of the shots made the hole, and the other shot was the bullet we found. So would it just ricochet or something? It's probably something to do with those bullets. The bullet hole or the bullet probably is what I gotta push here. She fired 2 warning shots at the figure, and we can present. A single bullet hole was found in the boarding lounge. The bullet itself is missing. Discovered in a gutter that runs along the south wall of the boarding lounge. It was fired from a .10 caliber handgun. I'm gonna try the bullet hole first. Let me see real quick.
Objection!
Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing? You doubt my words? Words that will someday be written down in history books? Dude, he's revving that thing up, dude. Somehow I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we all can understand? You say that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene. What? Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet Director Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirm that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection!
But there was only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Ah! You should know the answer to that already. I should? During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was the bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun, the same caliber as the detective's gun. What? What about the 10 caliber gun or bullet that we found? The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun. Rifling marks. They're like a gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct? And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from. It's like the type of gun, right? One of the bullets the detective fired found its way to the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots.
My beautiful contradiction. Gone. All gone.
So that bullet hole was from a .38 caliber, huh? I better update the record.
Updated that record. Thank you, Athena. Very good. Now we know the fate of both the shots Detective Arm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all your questions? Not really, because I got a 10 caliber bullet sitting right over here, and I got questions about that.
Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything about what happened at the scene?
No, it doesn't. Nope. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Well, maybe I think it does. What do you think about that, Mr. Wright?
Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun. But that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person. Oh, and what is that? Very well, but it won't do to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene?
It would be this 10 caliber bullet. Oh, that's the new one. It's the other bullet. There we go. The old one. Zant.
Take that! And what is this metal pellet supposed to be? Is this a Bluetooth device or something? Am I supposed to put it in my ear? I don't understand that. Let me just try. Judge, no!
Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor.
You found it where?
In a floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a 10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than the one Detective Arm's 38 calibers. Or one Arm's 38 caliber. Yeah, that's right.
Then that means...
Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. Or at least one more gun, right?
A third person who had a gun that could fire a 10 caliber bullet.
And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down to Director Cosmos?
It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you are absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. What's this now?
Why did you leave that out before, dude?
What? You never breathed a word of any of this before. Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know? Tisk. Foolish old geezer.
So Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along.
Director Cosmos,
I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw.
You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom, you're just another witness. Just another number. I could squash you under my gavel if I wanted to. You better tell the truth, damn it. You won't receive special treatment here. Now, please give accurate testimony.
What I really saw at the scene. What really happened.
Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and Terran on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us.
That's it? No, it's supposed to be all you saw, dude. Shit, dog.
Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant?
Not necessarily. Still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock.
Objection!
Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one, and it is you who gets cut down.
Huh?
Your reasoning could apply if Spaceboy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired the 10 caliber gun. Detective Arm would respond by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person.
Objection!
But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
That's a pretty good rebuttal, right? Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute. Well, have you guys not checked the trash in the chute? Why wouldn't you have done that, Mr. Prosecutor who checks everything?
Objection!
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon.
Objection!
It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence.
Well, I mean, you would also have to prove that he threw it down there. It does. It's so goddamn.
The dark age of the law. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. Ah! I did forget all about that. Look, your baldness. How deliciously obvious is it that the lack of evidence to rival mine?
Or that they lack evidence to rival mine.
Wow, he sliced our third-person theory to ribbons and served it to us. Just like that.
Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. That bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what did it hit, exactly? It hit me.
He's gonna try to pull like the martyr card or something. Like, oh no, I totally like gave myself up with a hero card, I should say. He jumped in front of Candace and took the bullet. It didn't tell anybody. It's like, if it hit you, then why do we have it, dude?
So does that mean you're a ghost? Is Maya here? Or one of those spirit ladies here? I was wondering when you would realize it, your baldness. Director Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls. Ah!
Prosecutor Blackwell, shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman.
Your baldness was all in jest. Please show yourself again. Are you sure? Are you sure the ghost is gone? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos? I'm glad you asked.
Sorry, one moment.
It was a miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet hit my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus saving my life. What?
Dude, he's so full of shit, dude. I think one of the reasons why he's on that scooter is because he's short. I think it's like a short man syndrome thing.
That's unbelievable.
I have to check this out. Oh wow, look at that. There's one extra Galaxa star.
Oh wow, there really is like a thing on it. Like, he really did get shot? Are we, really? I expected it to be full of shit, dude, if I'm honest. Trying to get my green screen going here. It's like one of my lights is going out or something. There we go. He's a literally space case? Oh, absolutely. The odds are literally astronomical. I guess it really was a miracle.
It's beginning to really feel like the Cosmos is watching out for Director Cosmos.
But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand.
I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding?
Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out. Now then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Cross-examination.
Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. Hold it!
We've already heard all about that part. Don't you have any new information?
Well, let me see. If you have an hour or two, I could tell you all about the Hat One Miracle.
We already know all about that too. Tell us about something related to this incident.
I see. You want to know about incidents. Well then, let me tell you about the many incidents that made me the man I am today. Yes, if you have time, I will tell you all about the upbringing of this great man.
You've already told us all about that already as well. What we need to know now is your testimony.
Did I really already tell you all about my upbringing? I don't recall doing so. Director Cosmos, perhaps you could save your boastful tales for later. If I must. Well, we peeked in through the control room door and...
That was a big, waste of time. Nothing but him trying to brag.
In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and tearing on the floor.
But it was so dark you couldn't see this figure's face. Isn't that right?
Yes, the room was deep and dark as outer space itself. Speaking of outer space, during the Hat 1 launch 7 years ago. If it's about Hat 1 Miracle again, you can sod off and tell it to a stray mutt. Excellent idea. No reason why the animal world shouldn't hear of my greatness. And so they shall. But first, your testimony. What happened next? We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us.
Hold it! So, in other words, you were fired at when you were at the control room door.
That is correct.
There's something not quite right about that. Yeah, the fact that we didn't find a hole in the door? Yeah, that's not right. Director Cosmos, the bullet this person fired hit you. Isn't that right?
Yes, it was a miracle. A miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet the figure fired hit me while I was in the control room. But as the Cosmos would have it, the bullet bounced off my glorious Medal of Honor.
In that case, the bullet should have wound up somewhere around the control room door. Okay, so Director Cosmos was in the control room to the east. And while he was there, he was shot at by someone with a 10 caliber gun. But the bullet hit this metal, so he was able to escape with his life. He's a very lucky man. No wonder people think he's great. Hey, I'm pretty lucky myself. So if he's a great man, then I'm the king of all cosmos. Hell yeah. The king of all the cosmos, Katamari Damashi. No, 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 no.
Detective Arm.
Oh yeah, we already did that. Okay. So it's the bullet hole thing, right? So let's go ahead and save. Present the picture of the control room door. Right? Or do we just present the bullet again, because the bullet wasn't found near the control room. Because that's what Phoenix just said. Because this is not really a picture. This is the door lock. I thought it was a picture of it. So maybe we just do the bullet again, because it says it was discovered in the gutter that runs along the south wall of the boarding lounge. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, yeah, maybe I'll do that. Objection!
Objection!
Director Cosmos, I believe you were telling this great court a glorious lie. A great man like me tell a lie? Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history? My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door, and the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have traveled in this direction. However, we found the 10 caliber bullet here. No! This trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his metal. Of this, there is no mistake.
Objection!
But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency?
I'm just gonna say it ricocheted, I guess.
Of course. I didn't think so. What? Oh, great Director Cosmos. Yes? Is there something you'd like me to expound upon? You were in fact not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right?
Okay, so then we were right that he was lying.
Ah! What are you getting at? Use your own brain. Your head must have... your head must have some use other than housing that bird's nest. Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick on my hair? Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them, there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south.
Okay, so our contradiction was right to point out, is what you're saying. Thank you. Appreciate you, Blackwell.
That makes sense, actually.
But it means that our third party can't escape, though. I think that's why Blackwell's like, ha ha ha, I have you now. It's like, where's the escape route for the guy now? Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution. Yeah, here he goes.
Huh? I've got a bad feeling about this. How about it, Director? If you don't tell the truth this time.
Oh, he broke it.
Yikes! His handcuffs! You'll become but rust upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man. All right, I'll tell the truth. Just put your sword away. You are correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door. What? That's the completely opposite of all the testimony he's given so far. And now you have lost your possibility that a third person was in the room. I have? How?
Because of what I just said earlier.
The director and the detective were near the southern door, meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through here. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. and the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos' fingerprints. In short, there would be no escape for any third person had there been one. My third person just disappeared, like in one of Trucy's magic tricks.
What's that, Daddy?
Order! Order in the court! You sons of bitches. Order in the court.
Could pull a third party out of my magic panties for you. Here you go, Daddy. My wooden guy did it. Mr. Hayat, or whatever.
Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie? You were covering for the defendant. Isn't that right?
Leading?
Yes. It was all for the love of my men. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit could have escaped through the southern door.
But you were like fighting that, though.
It would have meant that there could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person.
What a convoluted lie.
He was really covering for the defendant?
I highly doubt that, dude.
It looks like we've come to a conclusion. That the defense's argument, the possibility of a third person, has crumbled.
No!
It's over.
Yikes. The judge is about to hand down his verdict. Think, Phoenix, think. This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If a third person has no way of escaping the scene, then what if one of the people at the scene was this third person?
It was Yuri. I've been so suspect of him from the very start.
Wait. What if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmos said that he and the detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, then they would be the third person.
The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict.
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility.
Oh? This had better be good, Mr. Wright.
There is one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene. And that person would be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them.
Very well. Let's hear more about this theory. Who is this one person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge?
Well, it would have to be Yuri Cosmos, because he was the only one that could go through that door.
Take that!
What? But that's this man standing right here. Oh, you're gonna scare me now. Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here?
Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door, after all.
But that means...
Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness, Director Yuri Cosmos. What?
What? What are you thinking, boss?
Order in the court, I say. Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail.
Take a drink really quick, so let's get some order up in here.
Order! Very rude for members. Order!
I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that and saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots.
Ah, I've been hit! I've been hit on the starboard side!
Captain Wright, it's a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir. A magnificent shot.
Warning shots fired from the enemy ship. Prepare to intercept. Cosmos, you have told a lie in this court once again. I've been hit! I have been hit on the port side! The enemy has called in reinforcements!
We're at the Cosmos Control Center requesting permission to ask that you return to reality.
Pardon me?
But my ship will not go down now to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence.
Objection!
But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar.
If Director Cosmos is the third person Aura Blackwell saw, this third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos?
It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us.
Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the 10 caliber gun. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before.
Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark that you received from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge.
No. Brace for further impact.
Yeah, there you go. Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge. The bullet from Arm's gun, it's gotta be.
Take that!
The 38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos's metal. If we found that ricocheted mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a 38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you are the third person we've been looking for.
The bridge is destroyed! Losing altitude! All hands abandon ship!
If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was a 10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director?
No! You've got it all wrong! What? The engines have started again. It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet!
Witness, stop this at once and confess to the truth. If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar,
then accept your fate and tell the truth.
Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Cosmos Space Center. But the cosmos revolves around me. Someone get me off this thing. Order! Order in the court! And will someone please stop the witness from spitting?
Whoa, he's not looking so odd, dude.
Phew. Thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth. While he was twirling, I took the liberty of running the analysis on the mark on the metal. It was made by a .38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No, you've got it all wrong. This is just a misunderstanding.
Is he going to start piling on more lies?
It looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth.
With his rapid spin attack, it missed. And it missed. To be continued. Man, that was early on in the stream for to be continued. Should we just go straight on to the final part? Let me take a look. Try to guesstimate how long. I feel like every time I do this, I end up going for like way later than I wanted to. Because you know they're going to pack the most in that last part. Man, this was a short part, wasn't it? Because they made it 2 parts. Oh, it's not that much more. Okay, yeah. We can do the next part today. So this will be a 2-parter day. So there you go. Pretty cool. Yeah, these trials are short. It's interesting. In this game, it's been kind of like, some have been long, some have been short. It's kind of hit and miss. I feel like before, they were all pretty long. And it seems like these later games have been feeling a little bit shorter. It's weird that they even made this 2 parts, you know what I mean? I mean, it's nice to have like a little break in the scene, don't get me wrong, and it's a good spot to break. But it's almost like it didn't need to be, you know? Because they've had like 4-hour, 5-hour parts before. At least on my time scale, I'm going by, you know. Anyways, yeah, let's keep going. Save the game. Yeah, it sounds like we pretty much got it all worked out here. So what more do we need to do? We got, we know that the director is the killer, it sounds like. Unless he can actually somehow come up with a reason that he's not the killer. Oh, shoot. 1 second. The thing that holds my mic to my desk just fell off. Set the mic down, 'cause I need 2 hands. Bring it down. That's cranked down. I'm just gonna put the peg in the slot. There we go. Okay. Shouldn't wrench on that thing as much as I do. Imagine if they just followed up with a trial full of one-hit KOs. Yeah, like super short trials, is that what you mean? Like, you just do like one-shots or whatever? It's like every single one's like the tutorial case of some of the games. Like that short. Alright, here we go. Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They are claiming that you were this 3rd person. No, forgive me. I'm so sorry. So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous cur. Fabulous? Interesting, I've never heard that. Let's see. Like every time you get a question wrong, you lose all your health. Oh, that kind of thing, which justifies the say before. Yeah.
Fables or short fictional tales that convey a moral or lesson.
Oh, a fabulous. Okay, so like a fable.
Objects and are intended to entertain and educate the reader or listener. Fabulists include famous writers such as Aesop, Jean de La Fontaine, and the Brothers Grimm. In modern times, fabulists may also include writers of fantasy and science fiction who use their stories to explore philosophical or ethical issues.
Oh, cool. Right on. I've never heard that word. Fabulous. I'm glad I got it right the first time.
So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous cur. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. Fine. I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. I then passed the elevators and all the way around the boarding lounge one again. I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene. What a troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts. I see. I also have convoluted thoughts. Yes. Yes, I do. Are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness.
Now hold on just one moment. You just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you.
No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall.
That's an excellent point.
All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person.
Well, it makes some sense that he told the lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck.
Still, a lie's a lie, Athena.
So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof?
Ah, I just remembered. I have an alibi. Miss Blackwell said that she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct?
Yes, and?
Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll corroborate. The director is not fibbing to the court for once. I confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified.
So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m. And that you arrived at the lounge after that.
Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackwell saw. Although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I could actually see their face. Sorry, and I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling.
Of an earthling? What the fuck, dude?
As long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer.
No, we can't. Then again, maybe we don't need to yet.
I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck.
Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw.
Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please.
Witness testimony.
As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, They had vanished into thin air.
Down the garbage chute or something, I guess.
I was near the elevator side door and, well, the launch pad 1 door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer.
So you were shot at by the killer as well, and then they disappeared.
Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Terran's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured.
Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal.
That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember?
Right. What a mess this is turning into. So let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a 10 caliber bullet at him.
Right, but it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it.
And then the killer disappeared, and the director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm cut up and fired those warning shots at him. Judging by his metal, it looks like one of them almost took him out, too.
Good summary. That doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared.
I am ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Terran with a knife in his chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene that had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos. Silence. A riddle of the ages indeed, but I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time. But he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand.
Wow, that might be the first true statement he said all day.
But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly?
Simple. Because it was Space Boy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit.
I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence.
Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor?
No, because it was as dark as the black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room.
That wasn't exactly helpful.
I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right, Dono?
I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up.
Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help?
Huh?
While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord.
Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh?
This just might help us find out what happened to our vanished killer.
That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him.
You got it, boss. I wouldn't want to miss the chance to delve into a great mind. Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets to your heart to me.
Here we go. We're gonna hack into his brain. As I entered the lounge, he was feeling a little bit of anger, quite a bit of surprise, and quite a bit of sadness. Somebody was shooting at him. And as we can see here, we are from that southern door. Okay, we got the two doorways there. Okay. The true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air, and he has no feelings about that. I was near the elevator side door. And, well, the launch pad 1 door. He's sad here for some reason. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. Okay, so let's pinpoint the sadness here. Because, like, why is he mentioning that and being sad about it? That's weird. Very strange. My chair is not lit very well today. See it keep popping up behind me.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launch pad door. The Great Eerie Cosmos? Afraid? And what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation?
Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it.
I'm most certainly not. Director Cosmos, there's something about the launch pad door you're not telling us, isn't there?
Wow, he's speechless. It looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him.
Okay, back in the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory.
So, which one's weird here? True killer inside fired at me. The anger? But I don't know, they all kind of make sense. He's scared because he's getting fired at. He's surprised because he's getting fired at. And he's mad because he's getting fired at. Why not? I hid to avoid getting shot. Let's try the anger. Let's point that out and see if that does anything.
When we view your emotions alongside your testimony, find an unexpected emotion. Wait a minute, there really isn't anything strange here.
I don't know, but I think maybe we made a mistake, Mr. Wright.
I think maybe you're right.
Let's take another look. There must be an unexpected emotion there somewhere.
Maybe I need to go to that same spot in the testimony. Maybe it'll be something new. Okay. What about that? Doesn't have anything here, huh? You shouldn't have been angry. You should have been happy. Yeah, you should be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Doo, 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 doo. Doo, 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 doo. I think it's here. Surprise, sadness, or scared. Okay, we already tried mad, so I guess let's try scared. Nope, not that one either, huh? I guess we'll try surprise? I mean, is it gonna be one of those ones where it's like a lack of an emotion again? It hasn't done that to me before. Okay, none of those three, huh? Maybe it's here. He's not surprised by that. He should be surprised by the fact that they vanished. Maybe that's what it is. There you go. Music stopped. That's how we know. It usually means that. Not always, but usually.
You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually.
And yet at that time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence.
What? Why are you...
I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right?
What? No, of course not. That's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room. and the area beyond the launch pad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. As for the southern door, I was standing right there. So there was nowhere for the killer to run to. Maybe, or maybe not, you went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Terran, yes? What if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip out through the southern door? I highly doubt it. As you recall, right after I entered the lounge, Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her. And yet, the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use? The fucking trash chute, dude?
I'll just input those 2 pieces of data and... Yes, just what I wanted to see. Presto changeo, less Discord. It looks like we're on the right track.
Thanks, Athena. Now to make sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised by the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launch pad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launch pad 1 door. When we put these 2 pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here? I feel like they're really suggesting it's the launch pad door, but I keep thinking it was going to be the trash chute. Let's see, save slot 1. I'm going to try the launch pad 1 door because they were strongly suggested that. That's how I feel. The culprit went through the launch pad 1 door to escape, didn't they? Yes. I mean, no! Disaster to starboard! We're going to crash into the asteroid! A master tactician. You are not.
But the area beyond the door was filled with smoke, wasn't it?
True. But this still is the only logical answer there is. If we could just figure out what the director is hiding about the Launchpad 1 door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. But that door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Terran, and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened the security lock, do you? Do you? I don't know. Do you? That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way he could have easily gotten past that security lock. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device. I propose that the killer use the person's fingerprints to get past the security lock. Or use this person's, because we need to point out that it was Starbuck. That's... Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. Looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet. You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it? I have a little tale for you. Would you like to hear it? Huh? Oh, yes. By all means. There's a security camera in boarding lounge 1. Right. The one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor? If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. Then the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic? I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much for that, your baldness. I beg your pardon? Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point... Oh my! The footage cuts off! The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There is no footage after this. It be it of criminals or space aliens. And I thought it was such a good idea too. Damn it. My wife's gonna be so disappointed. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery, it doesn't mean you should try to show off too much, Grandpa Baldness. Prosecutor Blackwell, how did you know about my grandchild? What else do you know? Tell me.
I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world.
Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge? If I must.
Had to avoid getting shot, and he's scared. Went into the lounge, and he's still scared. Arm came up. Arm appeared from the elevator side door, and he's surprised. Whoa! And she shoots at him. Now he's a little angry, he's a little surprised, and he's pretty scared. So you see the killer could have only escaped to the launch pad, right? No feelings there, huh? So... I don't know, like none of these seem like super weird to me or anything. It's not, these aren't obvious to me. Okay, so Detective Arm appeared from the other side door and he's surprised. So we had two more before that. Start from the top. He had to avoid getting shot. That makes sense that he's scared. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. He's still a little scared, but he vanished. So I guess that makes sense. And he was surprised by her coming up. Surprised, scared, and mad. And nothing. I don't think there's any problem with that nothing one. I don't have a problem with it. Let's try the mad one here, I guess. I don't know. You mad, bro? Nope, that's not it. Moldy Domm! There you go, that's a good one. Oh, come on. Hurry up. Well, let me skip through this. Okay, so it wasn't being mad. Try being surprised. It was being surprised. Why is that weird? More heads, more brain power. Director Cosmos. Why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you? And again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. Pardon me. First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos,
What is strange about your surprised reaction is the fact that you were surprised twice, not surprised by something else. More surprised when arm came. I guess surprised twice? I don't understand the significance here. I'm not following what the game's trying to say here. Saving. I'll try the twice one. You were surprised when the detective found you, a self-styled great man. And then you were surprised again when she fired warning shots at you. Would such a self-professed great man such as yourself be surprised by such things? This doesn't seem like a great line here. It is my duty to lead the human race into the future. If my life is put in danger. It is also my duty to be surprised and take precautions to save my life. If anything were to happen to me, what would come of the future of mankind? Well, he certainly has a high opinion of himself. Looks like I got it wrong. In any case. Director Cosmos, what was strange about your surprise reaction is the fact that you were, I guess it was not surprised by something else, more surprised when arm came. I didn't notice a difference in the amount of surprise. Not surprised by something else. The fact that the guy disappeared? Are we still on about that? Is that what we're doing? Wasn't there something you should have been more surprised by? A brave man such as myself is not so easily surprised. But being shot at, now that would surprise anybody. Maybe finding the dead body, I guess. Is that what we're saying? Because at that point he should have found the victim, right? And his knocked out, the other guy would have been knocked out, obviously. Well, when you put it that way, I guess I'm barking up the wrong tree here. Okay, so it wasn't that. It was more surprised when arm came. I didn't note that when I saw that, huh? It must be that. I did not notice that. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arms shot at you. But the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. Ugh. The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. The enemy has acquired a new weapon. Commence Operation Hide under your desk. Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. Not quite.
Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that launch pad door.
Whatever he is hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape.
I wonder what it could be.
If he was doing something suspicious around that door. Maybe we can spot some change between before he came in the room and after.
Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison.
One moment. Sorry about that.
Let's see. This footage of the door before let's see. This is footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. And this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge.
Hey, look at that! Is it the red thing over here? I didn't see, but maybe. There is a change. Something is definitely different. Director Cosmos. What is it? What have you two been up to over there? Finding the answer to what you've been doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage.
All you have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation.
Don't be ridiculous. If you really do have an answer, you'll have pointed it out already. Sorry. He's asking for it, and this is what changed directly after the incident.
It's definitely that red switch I was thinking.
Boom! The answer is this knob. That's...
Your Honor, please take a look at this footage.
Let's see.
Take a look at the knob next to the launch pad door. As you can see, it's horizontal.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical.
And what does that mean?
It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob.
No!
After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob.
Come on now, Director Cosmos. Let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door? Fine. I admit it. You're right. I did turn that knob. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid that there had been more explosions. So I wanted to move the launch pad away.
You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepared for launch?
Yeah, they like slide it around, right? To the launch site, yeah.
She said that once the launch pad is fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. But the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first.
I guess that clears up what that knob is for.
Oh, so if the killer escaped into the launch pad one corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site.
I don't think so. The launch pad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor.
So then where did the killer escape to?
I guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail. Fine. But listen carefully, for I'm about to give history-making testimony.
And we're gonna analyze it.
Alright, I'm gonna take a quick restroom break before we get into this analysis.
But don't worry. We'll break this guy. I'll be back in just a couple minutes, guys, so don't go away.
Chocolates melting in my mouth. So sweet, so divine.
Bassmaster. Now I just feel like the ass master right now.
Get a nice little double kayak.
Yeah, dude.
I'll paddle, you fish.
Where we get these sick ass speedboats we're in right now.
Oh, yeah. I don't think a speedboat would fit in this lake.
Not in this lake. Pumpkin seed, I think. God damn little pumpkin.
Ooh.
Jeez. Oh no, it's a freshwater drum. 13.5 inches. Oh
damn.
My god.
That thing is 1.5 pounds. Holy hell.
See you later. Dude. All right, here we go. I might finally win around.
Oh, deeper. We're going to 98 inches. Max.
98 inches. I don't know if she can take it.
She absolutely can.
Oh, she will.
I'm as deep as can be.
Oh no. He's balls deep. I got time for that. I gotta turn Noah into a demon before he dies. I made a promise to that man. Long ago, about 20 minutes ago.
Don't worry, Kay. We'll be out of here soon.
You two grab a hold of something.
You better butter your biscuits, boys.
They should be thrown in the airlock and ejected. Remy, please, prepare for hypertravel. Calculating velocity, locating destination.
If only I could play He Was a Good Man, I would. I would play it right now. Because he was a good man, a father, a brother, neighbor, and a friend. He was a good man. Yeah, hydrate. There we go, all the mail. Mail time, mail time, mail time. Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me wanna wag my tail. When it comes, I wanna wail. Mail.
Firing soul cannon in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, fire.
It's like total overkill. We just used a child's soul to destroy you completely. What a waste of a child's soul. Especially since Pretzel's apparently still... Oh no, he dissolved. You demon! It must have taken a lot of hard work these past 18 years to buy back the mansion. The place full of memories with Monsieur Master. It is the only place for me. Singing and dancing and all kinds of sweets. That's the kind of gallery I dreamed about. I'll do a nice little whip for you. I think not. I like that. Was that good? Was that zoomed in good enough? Oh, impossible! He has no son! What? Wow, way to take it all on her shoulders, dude. It's gonna hit me in the feels, dude. Leela, forgive me. Come on, kids. Come on, you're gonna make old Uncle Cos cry. God damn it. God damn kids.
What's for dinner tonight?
It's grass.
Yay!
Thank you, children. I appreciate you. It's always so nice when the children cheer. It's better than them laughing like they always do. The incessant laughing. First station. 7th year of the Lumen War. After all the local factions had been destroyed. United Mining on eliminating the wait.
There's a bunch of tiny me's.
Oh shit, dude. Oh, come on, man. What, you just gonna keep me knocked out the whole time, dude? Alright, there we go. At least he broke it. What was that, a fucking 2x4 or a baguette? I mean, the baguette would make sense with where we're at. What?
Ending まで泣くんじゃない。名作保証。マザーついに大完成。
新しい冒険が今始まろうとしている。愛よ、勇気を奮い立て。僕らはマリオと強くなる。テクニカルファンタジーゲーム「スーパーマリオブラザーズ3」。
おばちゃん、これ見てこれ。
おお、ハイラルの紋章。リンクが16歳の時、左手の甲に紋章が現れる。これこそが真の勇者の証。アクションロールプレイングゲーム「ゼルダの伝説パート2リンクの冒険」。ここまで来たらやめられない。やればやるほどディスクシステム。
Get a little closer, don't be shy.
closer with Arid Solid Extra Dry.
Ordinary deodorant sticks contain nothing to fight wetness, but Arid Solid fights odor and wetness with Arid's powerful anti-wetness ingredient. And only Arid has this baby fresh scent that's, baby fresh on you.
Get a little closer with Arid Solid Extra Dry.
Arid Solid fights wetness ordinary deodorant sticks can't.
Honestly, I don't really want to be baby fresh, if I'm honest. That doesn't sound like something I want to be. Hello, I am back. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. Let us continue, shall we? We're gonna bring this motherfucker down. Good to see you here, Never. And a lurk, hell yeah. Thanks for lurking, dude.
Never blaming.
Thanks for saying hi. Alright, had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. And he's happy about that? Okay. I fear there might be more explosions, so I had to cut the launch pad loose. He's scared the whole time. Surely the only escape the killer had was through launch pad 1. But that area was a sea of smoke. Confounded, where on earth could they have gone? Okay. I think it's the happy one. That's the weirdest one I'm picking up on. Why you happy, bruh? Well, why you happy? I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You made it sound like you were reluctant to do so. And yet, when you did it, you felt some joy, as if you were very pleased with yourself. No! How did you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there?
Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology.
So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda. No! How do you know about that, too? Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing. But you have no proof of that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you. So there. I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake. And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence.
You, a man of integrity? Don't make me laugh. But Prosecutor Blackwell?
What came over him all of a sudden?
You've spouted nothing but falsity since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider great bare-faced liar an honor. Liar?
Gulp. His words bite harder than his blade.
You've moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions. My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, it's just a thought, but modern English can be your friend. And here's a thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge one side. The police confirmed this on the scene. What? Liar!
So that means the director didn't move the launch pad?
Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand.
Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content. Liar! But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. Ah! You're sure it must have went somewhere? We just might find out. Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not man enough to do it, boy? Ah!
Talk about hitting below the belt.
Youngins these days. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Ah. Wait a minute. Maybe I have it all backwards. What if the director turned the knob not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blathering about? What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident? And then, after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back. And it would be right where the police found it. Ah! Well, then how would anything would have happened? He's basically doing a sigh that the other guy did.
He made him sigh like Mr. Starbuck.
Yeah, exactly. This is really all on my end, but when you were doing the yelling and explosion, my feed hung up for a bit. Really fit at the moment. Nice. That's funny. Was what I said really that off base? It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, our great liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when our Astro Wonders made their escape. A fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Oh, right. So, to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it is, boy.
Ah! Get a grip, Mr. Wright, and focus. We know the launch pad must have been moved.
But our deductions and the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other.
Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake, taken with body doubles after the incident or something.
What if they're coming out of the museum somehow? Like they weren't even in the rocket, they were in the museum's like replica of the rocket or something somehow?
On second thought, that's too far-fetched even for me.
Never actually boarded the rocket. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe.
Huh?
Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? And what if when the director moved launch pad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? I would say that we're getting raided right now. Welcome in, everyone, to this courtroom. How are you all? Welcome in, aliens. The villain coming, send some lovin'. Hell yeah. Welcome in. Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the confetti there, Togepi. Appreciate that. Let me see, what were you playing? I'm playing some Tears of the Kingdom. Hell yeah. Nice, nice. I'm loving that game myself. I'm playing that one a lot. I assume you're enjoying it as well. But yeah, good to see you. Coming at a pretty good time in this. We're getting at a pretty juicy part of this court case if you're into it. Yeah, I hope you had a wonderful stream and a wonderful play session of Zelda. And yeah, if you need to, you know, take a little break, I totally understand. But yeah, thanks for bringing the party over here. All right, but from another place, what would you say then? What would you do if I did?
Cut the existential bull or I'll cut you. Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself at once.
I know I'm right. It was all the other way around from the beginning.
Very well, Your Honor. Let me explain. Director Cosmos' reason for moving Launchpad 1 was
to switch it to another place to trap the true killer. To trap the true killer because he thought he went in there. Right? Let's save. Okay, and I think it's to trap the true killer?
because he wanted to trap the true killer.
Starting to figure some things out. Nice, nice, that's cool. Like the Zonai stuff or whatever. I've been really liking the Zonai things. I've really been focusing a lot on that stuff in my gameplay.
Right, Dono. Need I remind you there was an explosion? And that the corridor between the launch pad and the lounge was thick with smoke. If the killer had been trapped in there, they would have been found as dead as their victim. I guess you're right. Well, I'm glad you both agree. Now there's a penalty for you, Mr. Wright.
No! No, there's not, you son of a bitch. Old man. Okay, so it wasn't to trap him. To switch it to another place to hide it. To hide it, to switch it to with another place. Maybe to switch it with another place, because I'm thinking it's the museum, like I was saying earlier. Let's try that.
Because he wanted to switch it with some other place. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? But what could he possibly have switched the launch pad with? Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched with Launchpad 1.
The Space Museum. Right? Every stream so far since that has been purely in the depths. Nice, yeah. Oh, I missed the first thing. I have yet to leave the depths after finding the hole in the ground pretty early on. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I've done. Most of my gameplay has been in the depths because I mean, it's really helped me with the Zonai stuff because it seems to be a lot more available. And yeah, I think I don't have all of it yet, but I probably have like at least 75% of the depths uncovered. And I just got down into a new area, so I can probably get the last 25 here pretty quick. But yeah, the depths have been so cool. I like feeling around in the dark for these places. It's so cool. Such a fun experience. I like that they added that.
Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum.
In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2.
It has all the same features as Launchpad 1, and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning, the Space Museum and Launchpad 1 can also be switched with each other. You can't mean...
The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1.
It was the one in the Space Museum.
Is that why they had the capsule? I think it's gonna somehow explain that.
What?
You say Boulder Dash. Is that what he said? I missed it. I was shaking my head too much. No spoil what I learned, but it was fascinating. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, I'm all for, like, you discovering stuff myself, so I appreciate that. That's what you want me to say. I do appreciate trying to figure stuff out myself, so yeah. But I'm just always glad that there's more to figure out, you know? That's what I love about that game too, is that there's just so many little things to discover. It's like every time you turn it on, there's something new. It's cool.
And yet it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. I see Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places. That's right. And with the two switched like this, The astronauts entered the Space Museum from boarding lounge 1. This allowed the true killer to enter the Launchpad 1 from boarding lounge 2 and set the bomb on the rocket.
Come to think of it, the door to the Space Museum from boarding lounge 2.
No, I can't do this in the past and be the robot, so we're just gonna have to be the robot.
Welcome, welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There is no fingerprint recognition system on that door.
Man, what a... like, back way in, huh? You go through this other old one and then switch it around just to get through that door? The combat strategy is currently just primarily glue arms to stuff. Yeah, because they're so strong, right? The bone arms and stuff. It's but they just don't last very long. But you might as well just keep chaining them, you know? Hell yeah.
In other words, with the 2 launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into boarding lounge 1 and waited there, concealed.
You know, one thing I've been playing around with lately is using the Zone Eye devices to try to do damage. You know, because, you know, there's some of the ones that are obviously for it, but I'm trying to be creative with it, you know? And it's been pretty fun. So I was doing my stream on Monday.
In order to kill Mr. Terran, when the 2 astronauts emerged from the Space Museum, recall that Miss Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who, we can suppose, after killing Mr. Terran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the 2 launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum.
And the killer could just walk out.
The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway.
Dude, this is a pretty elaborate scheme, dude. I mean, aren't they all? Aren't they all? I'm pretty much decidedly playing on hard mode. Nice, oh yeah. Without actually playing on master mode. Yeah, right on, hell yeah.
Right, Dono. I see you know how to handle a sword, and handle it well. Perhaps I should call your swordmaster bluff. I'm a seasoned warrior who has cut down many a prosecutor.
Silence.
Hell yeah, we have.
But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword. That's right! You have no proof I switched the launch pads!
Somebody needs a better anger management counselor.
If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere.
At this point, Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. So the corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum.
Let's see. This is an image of the Launchpad 1 corridor. Do you see anything different when we compare it to the security footage?
Event in space, safety first. Or even in space.
Huh? That number on the floor.
Oh yeah, right there behind the text. Right next to my face.
Well, what do you know? It looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. And if this is just another bluff... Oh, don't worry. It's all right here.
Right here. Oh, you can't see it very well. It looks like there would be a 2 on the floor right here. Certainly not a 1. Eh?
Right in this footage. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum. Very well then. Answer this for me, if you would. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum?
Is this number 2?
Present! There is a 1 on the floor of the Launchpad 1 corridor. But take a look at the floor of the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually a part of a 2. What? Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum. Gah!
And so that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke.
That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1, on the opposite side of the Space Museum. And now that we know that the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial is how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Terran, carrying Mr. Starbuck, simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level. Just incredible. The 2 launch pads were actually switched. But you'd think someone would have noticed on an event of this magnitude. Exactly, dude. That's like a huge point. This is 2 very large buildings rotating around a giant, like, building, dude. Like, what is going on? Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. Because the evacuation thing? There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. Got him! That son of a bitch.
Bye-bye.
At that moment, someone shouted, "Look, an alien!" And the moment of the switch, hey, look over there! And all of a sudden, these 2 buildings, like, you keep looking, you see it? You see it? It's just, look! No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth. My honor, my glory, everything is slipping away. Time to deploy the emergency something? Galactic engines! What? It's gone haywire! It won't stop! My stars, my glory! No, not that way! Dude, that was epic, dude. That was one of the most epic ones. Bailiff, on your steed and after that witness. Your steed? Hell yeah, dude. Quite a literal breakdown. Yes, absolutely. I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm. Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads? Yeah, I admit it's true. I switched Launchpad 1 for the Space Museum. Ah, it is good to hear words I can believe for a change. Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Terran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Terran would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum. Absolutely would have. There's no way he would. There's decorations and stuff everywhere. This isn't a proper launch pad. That it had been switched with the Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Terran feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with. Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in the blast.
The director is terrified. He must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why.
Probably not a good time to try to pry it out of him, huh?
Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing. I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars. It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say? I don't get it. Don't get it? What don't you get? Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch pad to go ahead, did you? You tricked us! Mr. Starbuck! Starbuck, my boy. I'm sorry. I can't tell you the reason why. But I had to do it to protect the Space Center. Director! Will I ever get the chance to get into space again? Yes. Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get into space again, my boy. Then the dream is still alive.
Silence.
Oh no. Blackwell. Here the judge is like, "Oh, come on, Blackwell. Why you gotta be a dick right now? We're all having a good time. Come on, dude."
You're not going into space, Starbuck. But prison, I wouldn't have it any other way. Why are you so hung up on him?
Yes, I accept that the launch pads really were switched. And if there were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I have yet to see proof of this third person's escape via the Space Museum.
Oh, that's a good point.
He's right. I don't have any proof.
Maybe the prison will launch into space one day. There you go.
Starbuck, you will spill everything you know.
What? Me?
Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood.
I'm going to die. I want to die in space. I have to do something.
Solomon Starbuck, prepare yourself.
Damn, dog.
Now, you know violence isn't the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell. An annoyingly cheerful laugh can be none other than...
Hell yeah, dude. He's growing on me.
Champion of righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here. In justice we trust. Detective Fulbright? Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late.
I don't believe we had an appointment.
I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady cross the street. And then I had to break up a catfight. I tell you, justice sure is a full-time job.
Was it a fight between cats, or... why are you here again?
Because the defendant isn't the culprit, and I came to make sure that justice is served.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Fulbright. I always thought you were a bit touched in the head. But have you finally succumbed? Nope. But it looks like you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment. What evidence?
So he has a conflict of interest or something with Starbuck, perhaps? His sister works there.
Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence.
Thanks, you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you.
I didn't think he was serious, though.
So what is it, Detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? It is indeed. Have a look at this. What's this? A lighter. That's right. A lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has the victim Clay Terran's blood, along with the killer's fingerprints on it.
What? Gah! Sorry. My throat really got out of there. All these different voices really doing a number on me.
Order, order. Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant? You bet. Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent. This is it. This is what I needed.
Lighter added to the court record. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. The lighter found on the floor of the Space Museum. The true culprit's fingerprints are on it. On it in the victim's blood? The fingerprints are of blood? Bloody fingerprints, I think is what it's saying. Okay.
Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where the lighter was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Terran, they escaped with lighter in hand into the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then finally, the killer left through the boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder. A fact that Director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there.
Silence.
But the defendant had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. Could he not have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during that span of time?
Objection!
You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with a lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had the time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit.
This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claims.
As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck.
No, there must be some mistake. Frankly, Prosecutor Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency because tomorrow...
Silence.
Fulbright. You promised never to speak of that. Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent. In light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime. A few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant Solomon Starbuck not guilty. Hell yeah. I feel like that snuck up on me. I thought there was going to be a lot more to that for some reason. Hell yeah, look at him. For he's a jolly good fellow. There we go. Hell yeah. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow.
Yes, we did it, Mr. Wright.
Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? With some help from Detective Fulbright. Mr. Wright, Miss Sykes, thank you. And please, thank Apollo for me too. You all are the best.
Oh, I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now.
Yeah, me too. And that's going to have to wait. Now that a verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
Objection!
Oh, shoot! From Blackwell? It's too late to object, isn't it? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong. But Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict? Fulbright, what were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? Huh? The results. Well, I was in a hurry, you see, and then there was that cat fight, and, well, I kinda got carried away when I heard the prints weren't Mr. Starbuck's, so... You haven't yet read it? Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to? Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes. What? That? What? I did not expect that. Athena? Her fingerprints were on that? What? What? The prosecutor does the objecting. It's never too late. Yeah, for in this game, it's just never too late, period, isn't it? So says the report. What? What? Huh?
Me?
Athena, what did you do? No, order! I say order! Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that the lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding our prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion.
I don't know how they got on there, but I know I'm not the culprit.
This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece. And I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So how could it have led to this? Lighter updated in the court record. Man, this is crazy. What have I done? Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Order, order, Detective Fulbright. Stop crying. What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad. Order, order. I will have order. Nobody's giving him any order, dude. Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we'd fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of twisted darkness. So it could only be like falsified evidence somehow, I guess. It's because I mean the whole Dark Age of the Law. That's the end, dude. This is end. Wow, what a cool ending. That's crazy. Turnabout for tomorrow. That will be what we start next week. Man, what a crazy end to all that. I love this shit, dude. What a cliffhanger indeed. Indeed a Rooney. Saving it. Okay, then I'm gonna do my saves in the emulator. There we go. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining me tonight for some Ace Attorney goodness. So yeah, next week we'll start Turnabout for tomorrow, and we're gonna have to figure out how this mess gets all untangled. And I wonder if this has something to do with whatever Apollo's doing. I'm sure he'll get roped back into this somehow. Be some sort of Deus Ex Machina or whatever, something like that. But yeah, so for the rest of the week, I got on Friday I'll be live. I think I might do more demos because there's been a lot of demos released recently. So I think I'm gonna do another whole extreme of me just playing random demos of games that are going to be released soon or have been released recently. So that'll be cool. So guys, come by for that if you want to see some new indie game stuff. I think a lot of them are gonna be indie games. So yeah, so that should be cool. And then over the weekend I should be around for Strange Planet Sunday. I think we got a few guys this weekend. I'm not sure what we're playing yet, but hopefully you guys will join us for that. So there you go. Thanks again for joining me tonight. Let's see if we got any friends on. Napoleon VT is on. I haven't gotten to raid Napoleon in a while, so I might go ahead and go for that. Who else is on? We got Toasty Bears on playing The Sims 4. Never Doubt's playing Overcooked. Nice. And John Rocks is playing some Demonologist. Alright, we'll jump on over into Napoleon's stream here. Let me make sure that they're still going.
Save and quit. Okay. Yes, save game, then quit.
There we go. Yeah, it looks. Oh, nope. Yeah, it looks like Napoleon's ending. Okay, good thing I checked. Good thing I checked. Oh, cool. Papa's over there. Let me find something else. Maybe we can go over to Toasty Bear. Boom, 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 boom. Checking to make sure Toasty's still going. Oh yeah, she's been going for 30 minutes. She usually goes for longer than that. So we'll go ahead and join her over there. Looks like she's doing some just chatting, but I'm sure she'll jump into some Sims 4 soon. She plays a lot of Sims, so she's a pretty cool Sims player. Let's see here. Gonna put my raid message out in case anybody wants to copy either of those. Raid. Toasty Bear. Thanks for joining the raid, guys. Really appreciate that. I'm sure you guys will enjoy hanging out with her. So please have a good night until I see you next time. Stay happy, stay healthy, because I love you. And we'll see you on Friday for some video game demos. Bye-bye. See you later. Oh yeah, I forgot to
Get into her stream first. There we go. I clicked it. See ya.